Hello everyone, Rez here, and a little update video for what I've been working on with my inventory system for whatever the hell this little game project is going to turn out to be. In the previous video, you could basically just pick up items and that was it. With the new one though, you can now open the inventory screen and the arrows have been removed and paging is now supported. So if we fill up all the inventory slots there, it'll generate an extra page for the rest of the items. There is the equipment and stats graphics on the right hand side, but I haven't actually used those yet. That's what I'm going to be working on next. But as you can see, you can now go through here and pick up a bunch of items and they will appear in the inventory. You can use your keyboard or the thumbstick on the gamepad to navigate these up and down. If they reach the end of a line, it'll wrap around to the beginning of the first line. I may change that so that, like, if you pressed left here instead of just staying selected on that line, it might go back to the previous item or something like that. Get out of there, pick up all these items and demonstrate the paging system working. So I did end up setting up the ability to control the guy and all the game functions at the moment with the controller, which is cool. So navigating around with the controller, page 1 of 2, page 2 of 2. Paging is working very well. If you get to the bottom, it won't go past the last item. You can't go past the last item in a row either. It'll wrap around back to the beginning of the line. That's what happens with everyone, as I said just before. If there are previous pages, it will just go up the page, and same with going down, as you've seen. Jump out of there, come back in. And the next little thing I added was the ability to interact with items. So I've got this sword here, I can press interact button, brings up a little context menu. You can either drop the item or cancel. Cancel just drops you back out. Drop item will remove the item from the inventory and then throw it back into the world in front of the character. So if we drop on there, jump out, there is a sword floating in the world right now, which was previously in our inventory. Excuse me. And you can pick it up again if you want to. And what will happen if we drop multiple items? Actually, before I show that, I should say, if you drop an item, so at the moment I have this sword selected. Once I drop an item, it will reselect the next item back in the row, just so you're not left with a blank selection. So if we drop that, it'll go from having the sword selected to the shield next to it. And you can keep doing that, and it'll just cycle through all the way back to the beginning of the array of inventory items, and you can just keep on dropping. If you go to a place where it's going to end up generating or having to go back to the next page, it will also do that. So if we get to the last one here, it'll go to the next page after this and select the last item in that row, and it'll just keep on doing that until you've run out of items. Until at this point there's nothing left to interact with, so what's the point? I do need to fix this though. If you drop a shit ton of items in one spot, you're just going to get them all stacked up. So I might do like a, I don't know, a random in range or something for a distance for where it can throw it. That way they're not all stacked up exactly like that. So what's next on the cards is, I'll pick up a few of these. Got a sword and a shield. I've got these armor and weapon slot over on the right hand side now. In the equipment and stats section, we'll be having the context menu when you open up, have a an extra item on the top for equipping or using an item. So you might want to equip a shield for some armor, a sword for the weapon, or using might be a potion or food, maybe a quest item, something like that, mission item. Not too sure. But hopefully it won't be too much of a hassle to sort that out in my item class, whether an item's equipable or usable. And then basically have a third button above the drop item which will say equip, use, whatever. But yeah, we'll see how we go, and thanks for hanging out and watching the vid, guys. Cheers.